Hi students, myself Payal Christie and you can subscribe my channel on YouTube for more videos. And today we are going to start with Standard 11th Commerce, Subject English, Chapter 3 from the Hornbill book, Discovering Tut, the Saga Continues, written by A.R. Williams. And today we are going to start with Part 3. Dear students, in second part we saw that now Tut's body, it was taken out from the tomb to find out that how his death had taken place, to find out the mystery whether his death was natural or he was killed by someone. Now when his body was taken out, his coffin was taken out, it was very difficult to separate his body from the coffin due to the ritual resins that also we saw. And when his coffin was taken out, lot of glittering goods, precious collars, inland necklace, bracelets, rings, amulets and sandals, sheets, etc. were also there in the coffin, along with the coffin and the inner coffin and the mask, and that all the things were made up of pure gold. Now let's see what is there in the third part. To separate Tut from his adornments, Carter's men removed the mummy's head and severed nearly every major joint. So Carter wanted to study about the mystery of Tut's death that we have seen in the second part also. So Carter's men, they removed the body, and in order to remove the body, they had to chisel it away. As we know that the body was stuck with the bottom part of the coffin. So now in order to remove the body for the CT scan, they had to chisel it away because it was stuck to the bottom of the tomb due to the ritual resins. They had to remove the mummy's head. Now the Tut's head had to be removed and severed nearly every major joint. Now what is severed means? To break away something. So they have to break the hands and legs and the other joints of Tut's body in order to remove the body from the coffin. Once they had finished this work, they had reassembled the remains on the layer of the sand in a wooden box with padding that concealed the damage. The bed where Tut now rests. So what happened? After cutting out every part of the body, they studied it, examined it, and after their study was over, they reassembled it. That means again they assembled it in the box. They kept it in the box and they put a layer of sand below, and on that they kept the body, and even they kept some padding on it, means putting the covering either of cloth or cotton. They concealed, means they hide every damaged part of the body they did to the Tut's dead body, and they kept it back where Tut rest, means he was resting in the coffin. So rest of the part of the body they have just kept in his coffin. Archaeology has changed substantially in the intervening decades, focusing less on treasure and more on the fascinating details of life and intriguing mysteries of death. Now, what is the meaning of archaeology here? Archaeology is a study of human history using the sites or remains, etc. And they go through all this and try to understand about the human history. So now this archaeology has changed in this modern world in the intervening. Now intervening means in this we can say the present decades, focusing less on treasure and more on fascinating details. Now these people, they focus less on the treasure, means whatever precious things they find, but they used to not focus on that, but they used to focus on the fascinating details of life and intriguing mysteries of death. Means they used to focus on the how, means the mummy who was dead. Okay, so they used to focus that how their life was and what was the mystery of the death behind the mummies. It also used more sophisticated tools including medical technology. Now in this modern times they used to use, okay, this archaeologists, they used to use sophisticated tools, means more advanced tools and medical technology to find out about the life and the death of the mummies. In 1968, more than 40 years after Carter's discovery. Now Carter's discovery here, that was done in 1922, we can say, that is in 1968, that is more than 40 years. An anatomy professor x-rayed the mummy and revealed a startling fact. So one anatomy professor, he x-rayed the mummy and then he revealed means told a very startling fact. Startling means a very surprising fact. Beneath the resin that cakes his chest, his breastbone and front ribs are missing. So now when he just took out the mummy, he told a very surprising fact that beneath means under the resin that cakes. Now cakes his chest means covering his chest. Okay, so under that his breastbone and front ribs are missing. So Tut's breastbone and his front ribs were missing. Today diagnostic imaging can be done with the computed tomography or CT. So the full form of CT scan is computed tomography. So priorly the examination was done with the help of X-rays and other things. But in this modern world, now the diagnosis is done with the help of computed tomography or CT scan, by which hundreds of X-rays in cross section are put together like slice of bread to create a three-dimensional virtual body. So nowadays here we can say three-dimensional means 3D image of the body, where you can study details in a very clear manner. And the dead body, the image is formed in its original form, and with the help of this CT scan you can just examine each and every part and bones of the body in a 3D way, means from the three sides, from each and every corner you can examine the bones and the other things of the body. What more would X-scan reveals of Tut than X-ray? Now here let's see that this CT scan, what is the result of the CT scan? Now let's see that what is the original reason that why this King Tut died. Okay, so that CT scan reveals Tut than the X-ray. As I told, that CT scan is advanced as compared to the X-ray. Now let's see what happens. And could it answer two of the biggest questions still lingering about him? Now after doing the CT scan of Tut's body, it would be possible to answer two of the biggest questions still lingering, means moving around about him. Now which were the two major questions? How did he die? How did Tut die? And how old was he at the time of his death? So these two questions were the major questions moving in the mind of the people, that how did he die, because that was a mystery, and how old was he at the time of his death. King Tut's demise was a big event. Now what is the meaning of demise? Demise means death. So this was a King Tut's death was a big event even by royal standards, means even the rich kings. Okay, it was a great shocking news for the other kings also. He was the last of his family's line, means he was the last king of his family, and his funeral was the death rattle of a dynasty. Now how was his funeral? It was a death rattle of the dynasty, means his death shook the whole dynasty because of the two reasons. Why? Because he died at a very early age when he was a teenager, first thing, and second thing, he was the last person in his royal family. His family was very rich to rule the Egypt. But the particulars of his passing away and its aftermath are unclear. But still, these people were not able to find out. Okay, Carter was not able to find out his history. Passing away, its aftermath means how his death had taken place and what was the history of King Tut. They are unclear. Amenhotep III, now you have to remember Amenhotep III, that is Tut's father or grandfather. Now it's not clear whether Amenhotep III was Tut's father or was his grandfather. He was a very powerful pharaoh who ruled for almost 4 decades at the height of the 18th dynasty golden age. Now he was a very powerful pharaoh. Pharaoh means the Egyptian king who ruled for almost 4 decades and the height of his 18th dynasty during the golden age. His son Amenhotep IV. Now we have to remember the name and please remember the pronunciation also. Now his son, he was Amenhotep IV, succeeded him and initiated one of the strangest periods in the history of ancient Egypt. So now after Amenhotep III, his son Amenhotep IV, he sat on the throne and he ruled the dynasty, and it was a very strange period. When he was a king, that was a very strangest period in the history of ancient Egypt. The new pharaoh promoted the worship of the Aten, the sun disk. Now as he came on the throne and he ruled as a king, he promoted, means he told the people to worship the Aten. Now Aten here is the sun god. Change his name to, now he changed his name to Akhenaten. Now you have to remember this thing, that as he came to throne, Amenhotep IV, he changed his name to Akhenaten, or that is the meaning of servant of Aten, means the servant of sun god, and moved the religious capital from the old city of Thebes to the new city of Akhenaten. Now don't get confused with Akhenaten and Akhetaten. Now Akhenaten is the name of Amenhotep IV and Akhetaten, that is the capital, which was, means the old city of Thebes that was taken away, and the new city was given the name Akhetaten, known now, and it is now known as Amarna. So this Akhetaten is now known as Amarna. He further shocked the country by attacking Amun. Now he has shocked the whole country by attacking Amun. Amun was a major god, and this god, he was worshipped by everyone before this Amenhotep IV came on the throne, because he told the people to worship Aten, that is the sun god. But priorly the people, they used to worship whom? Amun. Amun is the major god of the Egyptian, and smashing his images and closing his temples. Now what he did after coming on the throne, he just smashed the images of Amun, the major god of Egypt, and closing his temples. He had also closed his temples. It must have been a horrific time, said Ray Johnson, director of the University of Chicago's Research Center in Luxor, the site of ancient Thebes. Now, this Ray Johnson, he was a director of the University of Chicago's Research Center in Luxor, that is a site of ancient Thebes. He told that it must have been a horrific time, a terrible time, when Amenhotep IV, he came on the throne, because these were the changes he had made, and he had even, we can say that, destroyed the main god of Egypt. The family that had ruled for centuries was coming to an end, and then Akhenaten went a little wacky. So the families that had ruled for centuries, they also were coming to an end. And then afterwards, what happened? Akhenaten means Amenhotep IV. He became little bit wacky. Means he became crazy. Means he lose his power of mind. Okay, and he became crazy. Why? Because many people died in his family. After Akhenaten's death, now after Akhenaten's death, a mysterious ruler named Smen Khakare. Now you have to remember this thing, that after Akhenaten's death, that is the death of Amenhotep IV, a mysterious ruler named Smen Khakre. Okay, and he appeared briefly, means he just ruled for some time and existed with hardly a trace. Means he ruled for some time, and after that he was we can say existed. He moved from there. And then a very young Tutankhaten. Okay, remember this word. A very young boy whose name was Tutankhaten took the throne. King Tut, as he is widely known today. So now we just know him as King Tut. And what was his full name? His full name was Tutankhaten. Okay, and he is widely very much famous today. The boy king soon changed his name to Tutankhamun. Now from Tutankhaten, he changed his name to Tutankhamun. Living image of Amun. Now what is the meaning of Tutankhamun? That is a living image of Amun. And oversaw a restoration of the old ways. Now he saw that how was the restoration of the old ways. Means we can say that he started bringing the old rituals and devotions which Amenhotep IV had destroyed to Amun. Okay, that Amenhotep IV had destroyed everything, but Tut has brought everything back. His own god, that is we can say the major god of Egypt, the rituals, the devotions, everything was brought back when Tut came on the throne. So I hope you have understood up till here. He reigned for about 9 years. Means he reigned means he just ruled for about 9 years and then died unexpectedly. And after that, Tut died unexpectedly. Regardless of his fame and the speculation about his fate, Tut is one mummy among many Egypt. So now if we just see that who is Tut? Regardless of his fame, means apart from his fame and about the mystery of his death, if we see, Tut is just a mummy among many mummies in Egypt. How many? No one knows. Now how many mummies are there in the Egypt? That also no one knows. The Egyptian Mummy Project, which began in inventory in late 2003. Now see, the Egyptian Mummy Project, that is the name of the project, which began an inventory in late 2003, has recorded almost 600 so far. Means they have recorded 600 mummies so far, and still they are counting that how many mummies are there in the Egypt. The next phase, scanning the mummies with a portable CT machine donated by a National Geographic Society and Siemens. Okay, so now the next phrase, they used to scan the mummies to find out about their life and when they died and about their death also with a portable CT machine. Means a moving CT scanner machine. Means wherever they used to see the mummy, they used to go with this moving CT scanner machine. That was donated by whom? By the National Geographic Society. And what was his name? His name was Siemens. Okay, his name was Siemens. Please remember this thing. Its manufacturer. He was the manufacturer of this portable CT machine, and his name was Siemens. King Tut is one of the first mummies to be scanned in death as in life, moving regally ahead of his countrymen. So among all these mummies in Egypt, King Tut, he was the first mummy to be CT scanned in death as in life and moving regally ahead to his countrymen. So he was, we can say that King Tut was very lucky enough. Why? Because his body was to be scanned, and he was the first person that his body was to be scanned with the help of CT scanner. So here our third part gets over. Thanks for watching the video and have a nice day.